welcome back. So today is going to be a quick video on how to highlight and contour. So as you can already tell, I already have my eye look only. The only thing that I'm wearing is primer and foundation because I want to take it step by step exactly on how we do it. So I've been getting a lot of, oh, I don't know how to exactly do this. It's not hard. It takes a lot of trying to understand your face and where the light hits your face. So I happen to be doing this at like not the best time, but it is fine. I'm gonna make the best of it so that you guys can know exactly how to do this. What I always say in recommendation is start by looking at your face in the light. So look at how the light hits your face. You're gonna begin to notice that you have some shadows in some areas and some brighter areas where the light is hitting. So this is already the indicator of where you need to highlight and where you need to contour. So most times you'll see people contouring right here where their nose is at, and then making this part the lighter, or highlighting that part of the nose, because it's a very natural thing, and when you're looking at how light hits you, that's how it is. So the tools that I will be using is going to be this nice little flat brush that I like to use for concealer. This one's the Sedona Lace 954. So as you can tell right here, it's a little tiny brush. I like it into just putting it on. And then I follow it kind of with a like slightly bigger flat brush, and this is what I use for my contour. This is also by Sedona Lace. This is the 941. So I like to really get this because I feel like it's easier to guide when you are trying to trace out what exactly you want to contour versus highlight. And then of course I have a small little flat brush for the powder version of the contouring, which is also by Sedona Lace. And this one is the 305. So as you can see, just looking at my face right now, you can already tell where the light is hitting. So you can see here, the light is hitting right here. It's hitting in this general area. You could definitely see it's hitting here and making my dark circle really nice and evident. And then even just like this, you can already tell where I would need to contour right here. So this is definitely gonna have the highlight. We wanna stick the contouring here. Again, more contouring right here. And then I can already tell that there's shadow about here. And then of course we're going to definitely contour our jawline. So if you're doing a full face into neck contour, it's very important to keep your contour no, I guess past this point, because then this is where the light begins to hit. So you can't tell here, obviously, you can tell that it's really dark here, but then I have a lot of light here. So just keep in mind that if you want to, I am not a big fan unless I'm doing a full like really intense look and I just really want to look like super skinny, then that's when I do it. If not, I just kind of blend it out and I only keep my contour just to blend everything out just below the jawline. Other than that, I wouldn't get too extreme. Stick with the face and just make sure that it blends into your neck, and then everything else blends out. I mean, the contour and highlighting you can do throughout your body. It's an incredible experience, and it is nonetheless one of the reasons why I really fell in love with makeup in the first place, is that you can really transform and really define your face, which is so awesome, and I think it's really great, and I cannot wait to share this with you guys. So let's begin to break it down. I'm also going to be using this special palette by Sedona Lace. It's just a concealer palette, as you can see. So you have light colors to dark colors, perfect for your highlighting and contouring. I really like it. I've had it for a while. If you can't tell, some of these are almost out, but I definitely love to use it for the contouring part of it, and then kind of also blending out. So when I really want to do like full shading and highlighting, I love to use this palette. For the highlight version of this, I'm going to be going in with the Creaseless Concealer. This one is by Tarte. I wish I could tell you what the color is, but it's completely smudged off. I think it's like a medium, like a light medium or a medium, because I knew it was something that was just slightly lighter than what my natural skin tone is, but it's definitely not a fair or like just light in general. Okay, so I'm going to take again this little one, this little flat brush by Sedona Lace. This is the 954. Yes, 954. And I'm actually going to spray it down with a little Fix Plus just to kind of get it nice and damp and so much easier to grip the concealer and put it on. I'm gonna squeeze out some of this to the back of my hand, and I'm just going to push it out here. So the reason why I love this particular concealer is because it's so thick. It doesn't require a lot to cover a lot, and it's very thick enough to cover everything you need. So again, a little bit goes a long way because it's so thick, and you just don't have to, it doesn't require for you to use a lot, especially when you're just trying to do the under eye, and even more just, you know, you'll notice in a second as I put it on why I say a little bit goes a long way. So what I'm gonna do is start by creating kind of, I guess for lack of a better word, triangle underneath my under eye. I'm just going to kind of trace it out. So I don't make an extreme triangle because there is literally no point. As I'm blending, it will spread itself out. And I do take it all the way up because I want all of this to be nice and bright. So you can already tell, like, look at this, and I've only used a little bit. So now you understand why I recommend doing them. Alright, so I think I've gotten it fairly evened out, like a little bit. So I'm going to take the excess and kind of put some of it on my forehead, just like that. You can also do a little mini triangle up here where the light is going to hit, and then I'm going to take it down my nose, because I really want to create a nice bridge. So you can see that already. So this is gonna pop more once I do the contour portion of it. You're going to see it stick out because that is really going to define the shape of my nose, and it's really gonna show exactly where that light is hitting, and it's really going to make it pop in a good way. So I'm gonna take a little bit from my Sedona palette. I'm gonna take probably between a combination of these two. You can see right here, so they're very light. I'm just gonna add it down here just above the jawline to enhance the overall shape of my jaw, and then a little bit on my chin where the light also hits. And I'm probably gonna add a little bit more just here. So again, you can already tell that I'm starting from the concealer portion of the highlighting contouring. You can always start from the powder part of it if that's, you know, you're not looking like for something so extreme. Obviously, I only do this for special occasions. I don't do this every day because who has time for that? I'm not Kim Kardashian. I don't have a staff like this doing my makeup all the time. So it's me and it takes time and I have other things to do. So I try to keep it simple and I usually do it on the powder level other than just like the highlighting concealer part. I really do because I want that to really stick and I want to obviously cover the unevenness in my color tone and the dark circles, and that really helps to conceal that. But if you do have a special event, obviously the holidays are coming, this is really great to make your face just wow, all gorgeousness and taking breaths away. This is perfect for that because it's gonna make you look absolutely flawless, and if you do everything properly and correctly, there's no reason why it should ever slip off, and it will just kind of radiate throughout the entire room. So again, I don't do this particular step all the time unless it's a special occasion. And then I'm obviously going to go over the powder portion of it, and then you'll see what a difference it makes when you put on the concealer. You're gonna see how much more everything pops out. So if you've watched my other videos before, you can already tell I usually stick with the powder part of it, and it's good. It's not like it doesn't stand out. It's just this one's really going to pop. So I'm touching again on everything that my face seems to reflect light off of. And yeah, you can definitely tell I obviously keep it here and a little bit down here, but this one is more for enhancing my jawline. So that's really, if that's key of what you want to do, because you're like, oh, you know, I really kind of want to like shape in my face to go in more. This is a really key factor to do. So I'm not going to blend it out yet. I'm going to move on to the contouring portion and then we will blend it. Just one, so you could see it all in action, and two, the process is interesting when I begin to blend. So typically, when I'm doing the powder, I start blending my contour first and then I do the highlighted portion. But in this case, I move from light to dark. So I do highlight first and then I do the contour. Because obviously I'm using the same beauty blender and I don't want to be changing every single time. Versus powders, it's a completely different scenario. So I'm going to again wet this flat brush. So this is the other one that I like to use for the contouring. This is the 941 by Sedona Lace. And I'm going to be taking the combination of these particular three. So people don't like to say to make the fish. I do. I think it really helps because when you want to put it just under the brow, well, not brow bone, the cheekbone. So you want to find it here, and typically when you make that, you're going to naturally make it concave, and you should be able to find where your cheekbone is. So just feel in the face, you'll feel this massive bone here. You want to put it right under it. Okay, so something I actually forgot to mention in talking about highlighting and contouring is the actual shade itself. So the rule of thumb is for your highlight, you want to do 2 shades lighter, and for your contour, 2 shades darker than your natural skin tone. I will say if you have a larger forehead, it's good to put the contouring concealer part of it in here. So mine is not that big. Sometimes I do it, or just really want to be extra. But if you don't have to, I mean, it's fine. If you do just happen to have a larger forehead, this is a great way to make it a lot smaller. So now I'm going to trace out exactly how I want to do my nose, and you want to be very careful because this one is the hardest part of it all. So I'm starting from the end of my brow, and I'm just going along where I highlighted. Same thing on the other side. So I'm creating already the illusion that my nose is actually a lot more pinched than what it is, but that's okay. Shh, we won't tell. And now we're gonna move on to the jawline. So all I'm gonna do is begin to trace out where my jaw is when I pull back. And then I'm also going to define my jaw because I do have a nice little crease here. So honestly, this is completely optional. This is just my choice because I really like pinching it out and making my jaw just a little bit more defined. So I want to say this is it. Now if you really want to be a pro at this, you can also take in between shades and then just kind of add them to here. This will create a nice blend in the contouring and highlighting process. Obviously you can see here I have little spaces. For me, I'm like, I think it's gonna blend either way, but if I really wanted to push the limit, I would do it that way. I would add a little bit more just so that it just all looks well put together. So we are done, and it's time to blend this all out. So taking a nice damp beauty blender, I think I'll just go with this one. We're gonna start with our highlight first, and then we'll move to our contour. So just patience. You want to be gentle, but you want to blend it in. so I feel like we are blended out our lighter concealer portion of this. Now it's time to move on to the darker version of the contour. And we are done. So look how great this all looks. It's so fantastic. You can already see what a difference it makes. So I'm just touching up a little bit here and there to making sure everything is super blended out. So look at that, how incredible. It looks amazing. And now it's time to move on to the powder portion of this. So I always like to start with the contour first, which is kind of strange that I start with the highlight and then contour highlight. But that's just the way I feel. I mean, if you feel like it works the other way, by all means do it. I just think that it works out better this way, because when you're blending, you're not mixing one or the other, and then if something does come out too much, it's easier to kind of cover it up. So for example, if I highlight too much, I have the contour that kind of counteracts it, and if I contour too much, I have my highlight that will help kind of minimize that. So let's do the contouring. I'm going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. It's probably one of my most favorite ones, and I will be doing this with a kabuki brush. Ooh. So when you're doing it with the powder, you don't want to pass the outer corner of your eye when you're putting this on. You want to keep it there. Obviously, when we were doing it in the concealer version of it, it blends out. It's harder when you're doing it with the powder. So a little bit is really good because you can blend it into the way you want it to, versus just putting this harsh line across your face and then you can't remove it. Alright, so once I'm done contouring the hollow points of my cheeks, I'm going to outline my nose and shape it nicely, just as we did with the concealer portion of our contour, and then of course the bits and parts of my forehead, and then all below my jawline, and just making sure that it all will blend in perfectly before we move on to our highlight. So now for my highlight, I'm gonna go in with the LA Girl High Definition Setting Powder, because this definitely adds a nice, beautiful kind of banana tint to it while setting the concealer, which is what I really need. So again, I'm taking a nice damp beauty blender. I'm just gonna dip it in there. Get some, but not too much. Okay, so we're gonna add this setting powder just below the under eye area, and then on the bridge of my nose, and then just above my jawline, and then a little bit on the center of my forehead. So we're gonna let this sit before we eventually blend it out. Okay, and this is complete. Now it's time to blend it all out. And then we're gonna add a little highlighter and a little blush, and we're gonna be all set and looking gorgeous. And that's what we want. So using an angle brush, I'm gonna use this to blend out my contour. Okay, so once I'm done blending out with the angle brush, I'm going to take this small little flat brush and blend out everything I did for my nose, and just making sure that it is nice and natural looking and it is shaping my nose perfectly. Then we will move on to our highlight. Okay, so I'm going to take a nice big fluffy powder brush, and I'm just going to sweep it towards the outside of my face and making sure that everything is completely blended out and there's no excess powder on my face anywhere, and that it just all blends in together. And we're done with the highlighting and contouring, so it's not that complicated. It's fairly simple. It just takes time. That's the thing. It really does take time. So you can tell it came out so great, and what a difference it makes when you start with concealer level and move to powder versus just powder. So if you're looking for a really intense owl looking look, eye popping look, this is definitely what you want to start with, is the concealer level. So yeah, all I'm gonna do is add a little brush and a little highlighter, and we're gonna be done. You're all done, officially done. This is the look. We have killed it. We slayed. We look amazing, gorgeous. She is killing it, and that's what we want. So I really hope you guys liked this video and it wasn't too long and boring. Try to make it interesting for you guys, because I appreciate you watching. I want to entertain you. So if you did like it, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Always, I love your feedback. So tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, if you found it helpful, if you think there's something I can obviously improve on. Trust me, give it to me. I love it. Also follow me at Themakeupphase again, love your feedback there too as well. You can always see the latest and greatest on my Facebook. I mean, that too, but on my Instagram first and foremost. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and happy Labor Day to all of you. This is like the last official weekend of summer, so enjoy it and embrace it, and fall is upon us. Yay! Because I'm so ready for this heat to go away. Enough for now. I will see you guys later.